What makes a good story? You're sitting there watching a movie or reading a book, and suddenly you stop breathing. You don't even realize it, but you're holding your breath. The scene on the screen or the page has you transfixed. There's a character you care about, something they desperately need, and it feels like the entire universe hinges on whether they'll achieve it. You don't blink. You can't. The tension is unreal, like a string pulled tight, humming in the silence of your mind. Now ask yourself, why do you care so much? What made you pause your internal monologue and just listen? Just feel. A good story did that. A good story has the power to pull you in and refuse to let you go. Let's break it down. Not like a teacher wagging a finger at the chalkboard, but more like two people sitting under a dim lamp, talking quietly about what really matters. Here we go. Without conflict, you're just watching someone do laundry or scrolling through social media. A good story slaps conflict right in your face. It's the push and pull, the inner turmoil, the external threat. It's that sense that something's on the line, and that's where we get to the next piece. Stakes. Not those stakes. Not those either. Yeah, something like that. Without stakes, who cares what happens? If your hero loses and nothing changes, why would you bother paying attention? Stakes mean that if the hero fails, someone gets hurt, something important is lost, or maybe a whole world collapses. Stakes are the weight, the gravity that keeps your mind glued to the narrative. They say, hey you, this matters. But even conflict and stakes won't carry a story if the people involved are as interesting as stale bread. Enter interesting characters. They don't have to be superhuman or drop dead gorgeous. They can be flawed, anxious, even downright messy, but they must be worth caring about. Maybe they're absurdly relatable, like someone who's terrified of failing their family. Or maybe they're fascinatingly different, challenging your perceptions of what normal even means. Interesting characters keep you invested. You want them to win, or at least learn something by the end. Which brings us to transformation. A good story doesn't leave you where it found you. The world changes, the characters change, you change. Maybe the main character discovers a truth they never wanted to face. Maybe the society they live in shifts under the pressure of their actions. Whatever it is, something at the end should not be the same as it was at the beginning. Otherwise, you're left shrugging, thinking, so what was the point? Next, there's novelty. Ah, yes, the spice. You've consumed a million stories. We all have. We know the tropes, the cliches, the cheap twists. We're hungry for something fresh, an angle that feels new, an approach that surprises us. It doesn't have to be big. It can be a subtle twist, an unfamiliar setting, a character who's utterly unlike anyone you've met. Novelty takes the familiar shape of a story and gives it strange electric colors, making you look twice, lean in, and say, I've never seen that before. But let's not get too academic. This isn't just about listing ingredients like you're following a recipe for banana bread. Stories are messy. They're about feelings, ideas, and pictures all blended together. If you focus too much on feelings alone, just raw emotion, you might end up with a puddle of sentimentality so thick it's suffocating. If you're focused only on ideas, you risk creating something cold, intellectual, and distant, like a lecture disguised as a story. And if you obsess over visuals and context alone, just trying to paint a pretty picture, you might forget that people need something to hold on to emotionally and intellectually, or else it's just a screensaver. A good story strikes a balance between these elements. It lets you feel deeply, it makes you think, maybe just a little, or maybe it breaks your brain wide open. And it paints vivid images in your mind: the hero's trembling hand, the eerie glow of a distant city at night, the wet pavement under the flickering neon lights, feelings, ideas, and pictures holding hands, dancing together. How do you know when a story is good? Sometimes you don't. You just feel it. Your heart beats faster, your eyes widen, you catch yourself whispering no when something tragic happens, or laughing out loud before you can stop yourself. You might tear up, not even realizing the build-up that led to that single glistening drop rolling down your cheek. Maybe you even notice goosebumps along your arms as tension coils inside you. A truly good story leaves marks. It occupies a corner of your mind long after you've turned off the TV, closed the book, or scrolled past the last line. It makes you think about your own life, your own choices, your own transformations. It stays with you, whispering in your ear. Remember when that character overcame their fear of the dark? Or remember that moment when everything fell apart and then rebuilt itself into something more meaningful? At the end of the day, what makes a good story? It's the presence of conflict, stakes, and characters that matter. It's the transformation that feels earned, and the novelty that makes it all feel alive. It's the careful interplay of feeling, thinking, and seeing. It's the lingering echo, the emotion you can't shake off, the images that flash through your mind's eye when you're trying to fall asleep. A good story isn't just told, it's felt. It's an experience that alters you, even if just a little, leaving you a slightly different person than you were before you began. And that's what makes it good.